Are you ready to take control of your financial future? Barry Watts with WealthCare has the strategies you need to plan for a successful retirement.
Ralph, there are three things that are supremely important in retirement. Number one, taxes. You're going to probably pay more in taxes. It's going to be your highest expense in retirement. Cost you more than healthcare. Number two, you need to dial down the risk that you're taking in your portfolio. It's terribly important. And number three, you must have a plan for how you're going to pay for long-term care, because odds are you're going to need it.
Barry and the team at WealthCare develop customized plans to help you achieve your financial goals. Welcome to Watts on Wealth with Barry Watts.
Time again for the Watts on Wealth Sunday TV show. Hi, I'm Ralph Hipp along with Barry Watts of the WealthCare Corporation. Between watching our TV show and sometime around here listening to our radio show and reading Barry's book, which is Watts on Wealth, you'll be fully versed on some of the major concepts of retirement planning, but it's always great to talk with the man. How are you, Barry?
I'm well. I'm glad to be with you this morning. Looking forward to the conversation we're going to have today about some important retirement planning topics.
Glad to be with you and get our friends well versed on that. What do you think, friends, is the one big thing that might ruin or wreck your retirement? Making a costly money mistake. The good news is there is some good news. You can learn some ways to avoid those. Barry's here to start the show by helping us preserve our savings and help keep your retirement on track. So Barry, as we get started with our conversation, what's the number one money mistake you see people making in retirement around Springfield?
I'm amazed at the number of people who just blunder off into retirement without a plan, without a strategy, without a well-designed, comprehensive, holistic, meaning it deals not just with income in retirement, but it deals with taxes, it deals with health care, it deals with estate planning. People go into retirement without addressing those things, and I think that's a terrible mistake. A lot of people just seek money management in retirement, and they think if they've got their money being managed, they're where they want to be. And a lot of times the money manager is actually just an investment salesperson. Sure. You need to learn to smell that and ferret that out. So here are some questions that a holistic retirement plan ought to answer. How are you going to take income from that money that is being managed? How are you going to get your income? What's the mechanism that makes it work? And are you going to have that income every year for the rest of your life, or will you reach a point where you don't have as much income in retirement? What is the plan for reducing your income taxes? Are we addressing income taxes and looking for a strategy to make it less? What are we doing when the first spouse dies? Because not very many of us will be fortunate enough to die together as Kelly and I would wish to. One of us will be left, and that's going to affect the survivor not just emotionally, but it's going to affect them financially. For example, one of your Social Security checks is going to go away. Is there going to be enough money to survive on that one check? Is everything going to be okay for the survivor? What will a long-term care experience do to the family? Will it bankrupt the family for the survivor? Because the first person who got sick spent all of the family money. So these are things that all need to be blended together holistically in a good retirement plan, and investments are really only about 20% of that. Now, Ralph, there's one other thing that I think is a mistake, and it's this: focusing simply on returns. Many people chase the S&P 500 or the Dow Jones Industrial Average or whatever, and they think whatever it's doing, that's what they should be doing. Don't do it. Stop. That's not your number. On a scale of 1 to 10, we talk about the speedometer for risk, and 1 is not very much risk at all, and 100 is a lot of risk. The S&P 500 has a risk score of about 77. That's a lot of risk. Our typical client only tolerates a risk level of about 45 and really only needs a risk level of about 30. So don't chase risk that is unnecessary. If you'll think about it this way, why would you take extra risk to obtain something that you don't need?
Generally speaking, friends, if you took a group of 10 people, 7 of those 10 people, on the average, would not have any financial plan at all. And Barry, in general, why do you think people make mistakes?
Well, I think they just haven't been taught how to think about these things. So they listen to and really get trained by the media. And the media folks are journalists. They have degrees in journalism, not financial planning. So they don't know how to think about those things. You know, the media reports the S&P 500 made X percent. So they think that they should make the same amount. And that clearly isn't the case. We think about these things multiple times every day, hourly, and our first priority at WealthCare is to help people protect their principal. You know, it was Will Rogers who said, when you put all your money in a basket, be sure and watch that basket. Mark Twain said, I'm more interested in the return of my money than the return on my money. So let's be careful with the money because you want to preserve the nest egg so you don't have to go back to work.
One thing we've heard in retirement, the real key is cutting your expenses to be retired and bringing in less and spending less. Would that be enough to help people make their money last long enough?
Well, that probably would work, but is that what you want, to retire and live on less? And that's not what most people want to do. They want to live at the level that they've become accustomed to while they were working. And we're able at WealthCare to help achieve that for the majority of people who come to see us.
Well, we're going to take a break here, but this goes so quickly when we listen to your Watts Wisdom here. So there's more Watts Wisdom on the way. Stay with Barry and me because coming up, Barry's going to share some key steps to help your savings stay safe from any costly mistakes. You don't want to make those mistakes. And later on, he'll show us some ways to figure out if our retirement plan has sprung a leak. We'll be right back after this.
How does your future look in retirement? When you don't have a strategy, the future might look a little fuzzy. But with someone asking the right questions and helping you learn where you truly stand, it can become easier to work towards your goals. You need a plan to help generate income that will last as long as you need it. And the first step to creating an income plan is an analysis of where you are now. Let us help you bring your retirement into focus with your free income analysis today.
On the surface, your retirement plan might look solid. With your 401k or IRA, Social Security, investments, and insurance coverage, you appear to have it all covered. But what could you be missing? Below the surface, is your retirement exposed to too much risk? It's time for a deeper dive into your portfolio. We can help you uncover the risk that lies beneath the surface and learn about strategies to help preserve your savings. Get your free risk analysis today.
We hope you can always spend a half hour and make it a habit on your Sunday morning to watch Barry and me on the Watts on Wealth television program and our radio show coming up. It's either been on or coming on.
It just depends on which station.
What station you're listening to. We're glad you're watching this station. Here's a question for you. Are you doing enough to preserve what you've saved, or is there a hole in your plan? Barry's going to talk about that for us in the next segment here. Barry, what do you think that are some of the biggest risks to people's savings?
Well, Ralph, there are three big risks that I want to address today. The first of those is taxes, the second is healthcare, and the third is a stock market downturn. So let's unpack those. Despite what you hear in Washington, taxes are going to increase. I don't know when, I don't know by how much, but I know ultimately it has to happen. Now, one big, beautiful bill that was just passed has delayed that increase, but it really only compounds the problem. Taxes are going to have to go up just to pay the interest on the federal debt, let alone to pay back what the government owes. Now, the government's got some sneaky ways of getting their taxes, like charging more for your Medicare if you make over a certain amount of money, or taxing your Social Security. Think about it. The way you got Social Security in the first place is you paid a tax called FICA that was withdrawn from every paycheck you receive. And then when you go to collect that money, you pay taxes to get the money back that you've already paid taxes on. It's a scam, I tell you. Originally, there was no tax on Social Security, and the first tax on Social Security came in, oddly enough, during the Reagan administration, during a Republican-led administration. That's a little odd fact for you. One of the other things that can really be an issue is long-term health care. The costs can go through a family's retirement savings and deplete it, leaving a surviving spouse penniless. So here's what I would say then about stock market risk, the third risk we wanted to address. What's your investment plan and how much of risk is embedded in your investments? Most people have no idea. They wouldn't even know what the answer could possibly be, let alone what the answer really is for their situation. And that in itself explains why they lose when the stock market goes down.
Barry, what information or advice do you have for people preventing the risks from hurting their retirement?
Well, Ralph, you've got to have a plan crafted by a professional. You know, a quarter of a century ago, when I became a certified financial planner, there was nothing in the curriculum that taught about retirement income planning. And yet, that's the most important part of a retirement. All that money that you have saved up has to be turned into income so you can spend it. So designing a retirement income plan is strategically important to protect against those risks. We've talked about when taxes go higher or the market goes lower or your loved one entering a nursing home. Those things can wreck you financially. And in the retirement income planning process, we actually test each of those, a stress test, we call it, to see what the impact is and then make any adjustments that we need to. So that's one way people can help to avoid risk.
What if we've already made so many of these mistakes, we've crossed the point of no return, it can't be repaired? Can you help us fix them?
Oh, the point of no return, that's a big statement there, Ralph. I don't quite agree with that, probably.
Not no return on your money. I mean.
Well, it's better to have not made the mistakes, but if you've made them, the time to fix them is now. And the first step is just acknowledge the mistake and then take a step forward, because a small change can make a big difference over time. Is it too late? Well, if you just retired, you probably still have a 30-year retirement runway, and the benefit for fixing whatever mistake you might have made will still pay off over the next 30 years of retirement.
And at the WealthCare Corporation, what makes your holistic approach so special where you can help people all around the Ozarks?
Well, Ralph, you know, when you go to a doctor, you don't want the doctor to treat your foot when it's your heart that's hurting. When you can't breathe and the doctor keeps asking you about your digestion, he or she has kind of missed the point. You want a physician that will diagnose you from head to toe and talk about what problems you're experiencing everywhere, and they indeed may be related. But if they aren't paying attention to your whole body holistically, if your physician isn't treating you holistically, then you need a better doctor. So at the WealthCare Corporation, we're not just interested in how your money's managed. In fact, a lot of money management that people have is coming to them from people who are investment salespersons as opposed to money managers and financial advisors. That's about 20% of the retirement plan. The other 80% of the retirement plan is how you deal with taxes, how you deal with estate planning, how you deal with long-term care, how you deal with Medicare, how do you keep from paying taxes on Social Security, how do you protect your principal from bad stock markets. Your holistic plan should address all of those things thoroughly and completely.
Your holistic approach, including ways to protect our principal, that's one of your foundation pillars.
It is.
Is this all brought up in your book, Watts on Wealth? You describe a lot of it in your book.
We
can
do
read
talk about that in the book, Watts on Wealth, and we're happy to send a copy of that book to anyone who will just ask for it. And on your screen is a message that tells you how you can get a copy of the book. But yes, that's in the book, and it's critically important. Most people think you just have to ride the stock market down as a part of riding the stock market up when it climbs, and that is not necessarily true. There are things you can do to protect yourself. Always remember this. Why would you take risk that you don't need? Why would you take risk to get something that you don't need? That's the important thing that you need to eliminate.
And I'm fairly sure when you meet with Barry Watts, he will autograph that copy of Watts on Wealth for you.
Make sure it's autographed.
With pleasure. Well, stick around for more of our TV show this Sunday. Barry will also help us find some ways to make sure our retirement plan is seaworthy. Remember what I said about springing a leak? Does all of this sound strange in landlocked Missouri? Trust me, you'll see what we mean. Stay with us. You're watching Watts on Wealth, the Sunday TV show.
How does your future look in retirement? When you don't have a strategy, the future might look a little fuzzy. But with someone asking the right questions and helping you learn where you truly stand, it can become easier to work towards your goals. You need a plan to help generate income that will last as long as you need it. And the first step to creating an income plan is an analysis of where you are now. Let us help you bring your retirement into focus with your free income analysis today.
When it comes to planning for the future, time may not always be on your side. Think about your taxes. Tax rates are historically low right now, but they'll likely be higher in the future. Our current tax rates are set to expire in just a few short years. With the right planning and strategy, you might be able to cut your tax bill in the years to come. But don't wait until it's too late to take advantage of today's lower tax rates. Let us be your partner in planning for tomorrow so you can enjoy your retirement today.
On the surface, your retirement plan might look solid. With your 401k or IRA, Social Security, investments, and insurance coverage, you appear to have it all covered. But what could you be missing? Below the surface, is your retirement exposed to too much risk? It's time for a deeper dive into your portfolio. We can help you uncover the risk that lies beneath the surface and learn about strategies to help preserve your savings. Get your free risk analysis today.
Oh, around the beautiful Ozarks region, how would you like to be paddling a boat out in the middle of your favorite river, only to find that your boat is slowly filling up with water? It's a little scary, right? Unfortunately, the same thing could happen with your retirement plan. Barry, what do we need to look out for so we can stay afloat?
Thanks, Ralph. At WealthCare, we talk about leaks in your retirement bucket. Imagine for a moment that all of your retirement money is in this bucket. Now imagine that that bucket is under a faucet that fills the bucket. The average investment company only wants to talk about the faucet. And ironically, their faucet is always better than everybody else's. But it really doesn't matter how good the faucet is if you have holes in your retirement bucket. Patching those leaky holes is the way that you can make the most difference in protecting your retirement bucket. There are 4 holes that we usually talk about. The first hole that develops is taxes. That hole can be patched with taxes reduced in some cases to the 0% tax bracket. Imagine getting to 0% taxes. About 1/3 of wealthy retirees can do that. The second hole that develops is market risk. You can totally patch that hole so there will be no losses as a result of a bad stock market performance if that's what you want to do. The third hole is fees. Now, this isn't a hole that can totally be patched up because managing retirement investments requires trading and printing of statements and mailing of reports. There are administrative costs that have to be covered. But everyone should know what fees they are paying, and we find that people are usually paying fees that are much higher than they think they are, and we can typically show them how to reduce those fees. Then finally, there's the hole created by long-term care risk. That hole can potentially be totally healed over, so long-term care costs are covered and they won't wreck your spouse's retirement if you wind up going into long-term care. At WealthCare, patching holes comes first. Then we'll get to the selection of the faucet. Ralph, always remember this: if you don't patch the holes, it really doesn't matter how good the faucet is.
Barry, thank you very much as always. And coming up, we have more of our program and our favorite part of it, your questions to have your money last longer in retirement. Don't go anywhere. Our mailbag segment is next, and you're watching What's on Wealth.
On the surface, your retirement plan might look solid. With your 401k or IRA, Social Security, investments, and insurance coverage, you appear to have it all covered. But what could you be missing? Below the surface, is your retirement exposed to too much risk? It's time for a deeper dive into your portfolio. We can help you uncover the risk that lies beneath the surface and learn about strategies to help preserve your savings. Get your free risk analysis today.
Planning for retirement can be complicated. Helping create income that lasts, making sure your health care is covered, investing while managing risk, and don't forget about taxes. If you're overwhelmed, you're not alone. The good news is we have what you need to give you confidence to start planning for your ideal retirement, all in one convenient resource. You'll get answers to some of your biggest retirement questions in this easy-to-understand, practical resource. And best of all, there's no cost to you. Take the first step toward a confident retirement and get yours today.
When it comes to planning for the future, time may not always be on your side. Think about your taxes. Tax rates are historically low right now, but they'll likely be higher in the future. Our current tax rates are set to expire in just a few short years. With the right planning and strategy, you might be able to cut your tax bill in the years to come. But don't wait until it's too late to take advantage of today's lower tax rates. Let us be your partner in planning for tomorrow so you can enjoy your retirement today.
How does your future look in retirement? When you don't have a strategy, the future might look a little fuzzy. But with someone asking the right questions and helping you learn where you truly stand, it can become easier to work toward your goals. You need a plan to help generate income that will last as long as you need it. And the first step to creating an income plan is an analysis of where you are now. Let us help you bring your retirement into focus with your free income analysis today.
As we get to the end of another very information-filled half hour with J. Barry Watts, time for our questions from you about your real-life situations. And we start with Bill in Ozark. And Barry, what are some of the ways to keep my savings from, this is not sinking, what you just talked about, but from shrinking during retirement? What are your thoughts?
Sinking or shrinking, neither one sounds like the best solution for me.
Be good.
Bill, here's the deal. Inflation, taxes, healthcare, stock market risk can all cause your retirement savings to shrink and your retirement to sink. And the only way I know to protect against that is to have a comprehensive, holistic retirement plan in place. So if the person that you're working with right now is only interested in talking about investments and doesn't talk about income planning and tax reduction and long-term care planning and risk protection and estate planning, and most people don't talk about those things. I was not trained to talk about that in my initial financial planning training. It's something I learned over the years as I began working with retirees and understood the things that were specific to them. Well, then if whoever you're working with isn't talking about those things, then you're paying a full fee for only about 20% of what you would receive from a holistic planning firm.
Okay. And now we go to a question from Stephanie. And Stephanie, thanks for writing in from Willard. Should I be worried about inflation cutting into my savings? So it's kind of the same train of thought. This is the last train out today.
Yes, you should be concerned about that. We should all be concerned about that. Have you seen what it costs to just go to McDonald's these days? By the time you reach the end of retirement, it'll cost upwards of $3 to buy what you can buy for $1 today. Stephanie, you better have a plan to deal with that.
Okay. Now on to Edward. Ed is in Stratford and asks, Barry, I just retired. Good for you on that. How do I know if I have enough money to last? One of our basic principal questions.
I've noticed a theme here. A lot of people who are asking questions out of Stratford. So there must be some fans of the show in that part of Greene County. We're glad they're tuning in. Here's what I would say to Edward is the only way you can know if you have enough is to complete step 1 of the 6 steps to retirement confidence. And step 1 is income to age 100. It's to have a retirement income plan prepared. It'll show you exactly what your income and expenses will look like this year and next year and 5 years and 10 years and 15 years and 20 and 25. It'll show exactly what the taxes that you pay will be every year between now and the end of your retirement. That's the only way I know to know whether or not you're going to have enough money to last throughout retirement.
And let's go to the big city. Here is one from Linda in Springfield. Linda's worried about taxes taking a big chunk of my retirement. What should I consider? So back to the T word, back to the taxes.
What should I consider? Well, if I were Linda, I would consider paying less taxes. And of course, doing that requires a retirement tax plan. It's something that we are eminently qualified to provide. At the WealthCare Corporation, we often see cases where a client can save 6 figures, $100,000, in taxes over their retirement. We often see people who save $600,000 or $700,000. So that number can grow depending on how long it is that you're going to be retired, how much income you have coming in, what kind of assets that you've got. But let's focus on a plan to reduce those taxes and, if possible, to retire you in the 0% tax bracket. If we can't achieve that, and for some people we can, some people we can't, but if we can't get you to 0%, let's get you to the lowest tax bracket possible.
All right. And I'll have a follow-up question about that in just a moment here. But basically, can you tell us a bit about your approach, Barry, when you're meeting with a new family, clients for the first time, you and the team get together with them? What's the process like?
Well, when we sit down, we just want to learn who that person is or who that family is and what's important to them. Everybody's got a different dream out of retirement, and we want to hear about those dreams. We want to hear about what you want to accomplish in retirement, what you want to achieve in retirement. And once we know what you want to achieve and what you want to accomplish, then we can kind of start mapping out a path to get you there. And then we can figure out whether or not you have the resources to fund the trip you're trying to take.
There you go. And what do you think makes people a little hesitant to come in to talk with a professional? Like, I can do this myself, or we can do it as a family on our own.
Well, first question I might ask you is this. If you can do that, why haven't you done that? Oh, you didn't know you needed to do that. But now suddenly you know you need to do it and you can do it. Have you ever helped anyone retire before? Have you ever built a retirement tax plan before? Do you even know how to begin thinking about a retirement tax plan? Have you already protected your family from a long-term care experience? And if so, well, that's great. But most people are going to say, well, no, I haven't done that yet, but I understand I need to. Okay, how are you going to do that? We talk about protecting your principal. What steps are you going to take to protect your principal? How are you going to do that? One guy said, well, I'm going to put it all in money market. Oh, great. It's not even going to earn a rate of interest equivalent to inflation. Yeah, so that's not going to work. So we do run into a lot of people who say, okay, now I see what I need to do so I can do it myself. No, you can't. And they say, well, I don't want to pay a fee for you to do it, Barry. Okay, then you're going to pay the fee of higher taxes, the fee of long-term care causing you to run out of money, the fee of the stock market causing you to lose 10 or 15 or 20% in market loss when things go down. You know, I hire experts to do the things that I don't know how to do. And the older I get, the more I realize there are less things that I don't know how to do. Or I should say less things that I know how to do. And I need to hire experts to do those things for me. I've been doing this for 32 years, the WealthCare Corporation. This is what we spend all of our time on, is helping people to answer those kinds of questions and get solutions that'll make sure that they can have a retirement they can believe in and have confidence in.
Beautiful. So they're not making any mistakes with your help.
I won't say any. Any's a big word, Ralph. But we sure minimize the mistakes, and that's what's important.
Very good. So call the number and get with the team right away. And Barry, thanks for another fantastic show here. Thanks for joining us for it. If you're ready to set up that tax-efficient retirement plan to protect what you've saved, generate that stream of income for your whole retirement, leaving a lasting legacy while you're doing all that, well, it's time to connect with the team at the WealthCare Corporation. And thanks for joining us for Watts on Wealth. I'm Ralph Hipp, and we'll see you again right here. We'll be looking at you next Sunday.